All right, good morning, everybody. It is Saturday, the 17th, day one of week four. Thank Gus for a 5 week turn in this week. I know I think I've said that every week this week, but just very grateful that January is a 5 week. I wish that I could work out like that every year. I doubt that it does, but that would be fun. Um, it's a new moon tomorrow. And as you guys know, and you guys have been talking about this, right? That the new year does not start until February 17th. That means that with this new moon tomorrow, it is our final lunar cycle of the year, of the lunar calendar. And so, very much so, a time while it is a new moon, right? And new moons are about setting new intentions at the beginning of not only a 28-day phase, but a 6 month phase. So if you're in like the intention space, right, kind of on the monthly calendar, to this weekend is a good time for setting intentions for the next 28 days. So for now till mid February when we have our next new moon, but also thinking 6 months. So we're new moon in Capricorn, and in 6 months, we're going to have a full moon in Capricorn. That is a cycle in and of itself. So thinking about from now until, I don't know the specific date, but I can look at it. I have it in my calendar. It's June. I think it's the end of June. Um, or maybe the beginning of June, but it's in June. And that is kind of the longer cycle. And then on the other side, on the annual or the yearly calendar, um, we're looking at the last moon cycle before the year switches from snake to horse, before the lunar year starts. So, if that feels supportive for you, latch onto it. If you're like, you know what, January 1st didn't feel good, that was not my new year, but you're starting to like feel a little bit more like yourself or getting more into the groove, then this may suit you. You may feel like this feels a little bit more aligned for you. So I want to offer that. Obviously, take it or leave it, but if that feels aligned, please adopt that. Please embrace that. So this weekend, setting intentions for the next 28 days, and really thinking about where you're going, as we enter the final moon phase of the year. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We are going to talk today. I'm going to share with you guys probably one of my favorite like coaching prompts, techniques. Not really sure what to call it. Maybe we can come up with a cool name for it after I share it. But for those of you who don't know, I, for many, many years, was a transformational leadership coach. And I worked with people and in pretty short periods of time, supported people to make really significant shifts in their life, is really what it comes down to. It was through work. It was actually through the work that I went from being a late 30s person who never wanted to have kids, thought I never wanted to have kids, and going through a process where I call a spiritual awakening. You can call it the work of transformational leadership. But ultimately, I woke up to something that was buried very, very deep within me, or maybe it was a shift, who knows? But basically, I admitted to myself and I allowed myself to want to be a mother and to want to be pregnant and to want to do that on my own as a single mother. And within a 3 month time period, I went from not wanting to kids to not only wanting to have kids, but setting an intention to become a mother. I was infertile at the beginning of that 3 month period, and within 3 months, I was pregnant. I can go more into this story. It wasn't just like I went from not wanting it to wanting it, but like literally went from like, that's not for me to, oh no, this is what is very real and very true for me, to creating a life. And I love that I'm telling this had nothing to do with it. But yesterday was the 1 year of the day that this is so weird, but the one day of the 4 year. My daughter is 3, so 4 years ago yesterday, um, implantation happened. My egg was fertilized and I was officially pregnant as of 4 years ago yesterday, which is wild. So I've been on this journey for a while, and this transformational leadership work is really powerful. Maura can probably speak to this a little bit because she gets remnants of my leadership coaching just by being in Voxer with me all day, every day. But I want to share something because this is something that's come up for me that I've had to coach myself with. So this is a tool that I use to coach myself as well as my friends and clients in the past. I don't have any coaching clients right now because I'm all in on life insurance. But if you are friends with me, you get this kind of love and support. So um, I'll share an example, kind of walk you guys through this. But I would love to see, not just know if this happens for you guys, but I want to know what questions go through your head as you're like ruminating or, when things feel challenging. I know we are all here because we're not where we want to be yet, right? Many of us, like we all have so much success and so much accomplishment and so much to be proud of. But the beautiful thing about these spaces is that we all come together because like we still want more, right? Like there's still more for us to accomplish in this lifetime. There is more money to be made. So as we're going through Oh, thank you, Moira. Um, as we're going through, maybe this is not true, but I know for previous clients of mine and for myself, there's always a point where I get to like a question, like, what is wrong with me? Or why isn't this happening faster? Or why does this feel so hard for me? Or like, why isn't this thing working? Or like those questions, and I will hear myself like say those out loud, or I'll be journaling them. Like, I just don't understand why I'm not there yet, or why this thing is working for that person, but it's not working for me. I want to know what questions you ask yourself. Like, I want to see some in the chat. We got like core squad here today, so y'all are safe. Um, but I would love to see in the chat, what are some of those questions that come up for you? Why can't I get out of my own way? Oof, I feel that. That just gave me chills. Yep. I'm waiting. Why isn't this getting easier? Yeah. New levels, new devils. Yep. Recently, I said out loud, it might have even been to Maura, I said, why can't I figure this out? Just like when like I am doing like exactly what Maura said. Like for me, it was when. Like when am I going to get out of my own way? When am I finally going to learn the lesson? When am I going to stop doing the thing that I know I need to do, right? Like I was sharing this the other day. I was sharing this with Maura, and I didn't even remember what the thing was, but I remember having this moment and I remembered what it was. I picked up a Cliff Bar in the morning. I hadn't eaten anything. I had drank a little bit of water. I picked up a Cliff Bar and I took a bite and I looked at it and I'm like, I 100% know that when I eat Cliff Bars, because there's so much sugar in these things, if I eat anything sweet, my daughter loves these little mini muffins. Y'all have seen the mini muffins, right? She eats the mini muffins in the morning. If I put anything sweet in my body first thing in the morning, I immediately get a stomach ache. You want to think, oh, speaking of mini muffins, here's my mini muffin with her mini muffin. So if the first thing I eat in a day is a muffin or a Cliff Bar, I know I get a stomach ache. So I took a bite of this Cliff Bar and I looked at it and I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, why would I even open up this package? Yeah, I heard her scream and then she ran in. Like good, happy. She got her muffin scream. Bye, honey. So I had just this moment of clarity where I'm like, why do I even buy these? Right? Like why do I buy that? I mean, they like later on in the day, I like to, okay, cool. So like buy a couple and put them in the car for like whatever, but like or don't buy them. Okay. Um, when is this gonna click? Am I good enough? Why can't I push a little bit harder? Oof. Yeah. Why do I set myself up for failure or disappointment? Why do we do the things that we know? I'm talking, yeah, yeah, not right now. That's a good idea, but maybe later. Um, oh, yeah. Why do I set myself up for failure or disappointment? All right. Does everybody have a notebook or paper or like a phone they can type on? Something, anything. I'm gonna do this with you. I'm gonna have my phone on my computer since I don't. All right. I want you to write one of those questions at the top of the page. Okay. Now we're gonna spend 3 minutes. I want you to answer the question. Free write, answer the question. Put yourself into your own coaching mind. Put yourself into that alter ego that, who was it? Was it Jill that talked about it? I don't think about it as an alter ego. I honestly think of it as a higher self, right? We have our inner child and we have our higher self. So if I went to my higher self, if I went to the highest version of Marcy and said, when am I going to figure this out? What is she going to say to me? And more questions might come up. And I want to invite you guys to be really specific. Like my first thing that I wrote down was very vague. Like, oh, I'm gonna figure this out when I allow myself to like get over myself. Okay, well, what does that mean? What does that look like? What has to happen for that to happen? And you might find that you get to a place that creates a big, deep sigh. Right, so we can obviously come back to this and you guys can keep this journaling going. You can do this with other questions. I also highly, highly recommend that you share this with a person that you tend to go to. If you're feeling upset, if you're feeling stressed, if you're in your head, that friend, that running buddy, maybe it's even a parent, if you have somebody or a mentor, right? And ask them, like, when you hear me ask these questions, will you invite me into answering that question? Because when we are like in those rumination periods, when we're like in those feels, this also helps us to get into action, right? So that we're not acting on our emotions, we're acting on our commitments. And it also might really guide you. Like, as I was writing, I realized what book I need to read next, right? I bought a few books at the beginning of the year. I just finished Energy Bus, and today I'm going to pick up a new one. And like, I thought it was going to be one thing, but now I'm thinking maybe it's going to be another book that I bought. And so this can be because we get here's the thing, here's what happens. We ask these questions as if we don't have the answer because our brain wants us to believe that we don't have the answer, because if we don't have the answer we don't have to take action, right? I say this all the time, like, I don't know. If you ever say I don't know, like, if you come to me and say I don't know, I'm gonna tell you that I'm gonna remind you that you do know. I don't know is hands up. I don't know is an excuse. I don't know is I accept being a victim. Now, there are some things like I don't know how to do a thing I've never learned how to do, right? Like my daughter doesn't know how to ride a bike yet. Um, so she will learn. But if that's a skill, I don't know, and I'm gonna go figure that out. Like I get to learn. Don't even say I don't know. You can say I get to learn how to do that thing, that skill. But when we're talking about like, I don't know why I'm like this, or I don't know why I can't figure this out, or I don't know why it's easy for everybody else, but really, really hard for me. When we have I don't know, that is our brain's way of keeping us small, keeping us safe, and keeping us out of action, which means we're not changing, we're not transforming, we're not becoming that better version of ourselves. And so catch yourself, catch your team, catch your running buddies. When they say, I don't know, like what's stopping you? I don't know. Yes, you do. What is it? You do know. You do know what's stopping you. And so we got to put our hands down. We got to stop saying, I don't know. We got to stop using that as an excuse because as long as I don't know the answer, then we don't have to do anything about it. That's cute. That's comfy. We're not here for that. Um, it's now named, what is it named? My
Aoife.
Eve. I read your
She's a
message. I was like,
Celtic warrior
it's
queen.
named comma. That would be interesting. I like Aoife. Yep. Yep. Highly recommend if you guys are in there for having because I think that separation can help because then it becomes a different entity and it's not personal, even though it is personal. Um, but I just wanna I you guys know me. I want to find and teach and share the practical ways to do the things that feel impractical, like changing your life in the course of 3 months, right? Having a spiritual awakening to completely transform your entire identity, right? Sometimes I'm like, how do you do that? And then I'm like, wait, I did that once or twice or 5 times, right? And it did all pair with action. There was action and intentionality and thought work and discomfort. So, I hope that this landed and I hope that this resonated. As always, maybe not always because sometimes I can't, but today, I am more than willing to stick around for a few more minutes. If anybody has any questions, I'll stop the recording. But if anybody has any questions, or I don't know, needs some support, wants some hot seat coaching, I will stick around for a little bit. If you got to go, go get your Saturday started. Weekend Warriors, all across the board. I'll be in the back room later this afternoon, but I'll stop the recording. I'll hang out and happy week 4. Go get them, Tigers.